Isle of Discovery is my very own custom theme park in Planet Coaster 2, filled with so many different areas that are all themed up and have these insane looking roller coasters, and more recently we even built a water park in the back corner of the park. But today, after a few episodes of building water slides, we're going back to the theme park of Isle of Discovery and building a proper roller coaster. And not only is it a proper one, it is also going to be the tallest and fastest we have at the park, which would make it the tallest and fastest in the UK if it was in the UK in real life. It has inversions, crazy elements like outer banks and twisted drops and stuff. It is mental. And today I'm going to show you the entire process of building that coaster. So be sure to watch till the end to see a work in progress POV and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next few episodes where we will finish this entire themed area. Because like I've said in many previous episodes, this will be an Egyptian themed Mack hyper coaster. Welcome back to Isle of Discovery, episode 23. The past 3 or 4 episodes we've been focused purely on water slides, a little water coaster in there, a water park. Now we're back with a vengeance. This isn't Nemesis, this is more like Hyperia. We're back building the actual theme park section of Isle of Discovery as a resort. So yes, the Mack Hypercoaster begins, the tallest and fastest coaster in this park. It is pretty ridiculous once I actually finish this fully. I don't really know whether it's going to be the final layout or not, but I'm going to POV it for you anyway, a work in progress POV, so won't be fully smooth, won't have all the elements I want it to have, because might change a few here and there, but you'll get the general gist of it. 267 feet is the top of the crest, as you just saw very briefly. That is how tall this thing is going to be. It's the tallest in the UK, one of the tallest in Europe it would be, and it's going to have a twisted drop, not underneath itself like Hyperia does, because otherwise I'm just copying it at that point. And also, that's usually what you want to do when you don't have much space to work with, because going underneath yourself you can do more elements and sort of do it all under the lift hill, which is obviously quite compact. We have loads of space. So what I'm doing is doing a 90-degree twisted drop. So it'll literally just twist to the side and go down like so. I was having a few sort of complications trying to decide what to do, because first I was thinking about a Hyperia style drop, and then also I had the complications of the game not wanting me to turn it that way. That's why it keeps going red. But we got there eventually, as you can see. It eventually decided to work, and we dropped down all the way to the ground. Strange thing about this episode though, usually in these time lapses I will make the coaster and then afterwards we'll do a little bit of the theming, and it'll all be concise down into maybe like 8 minutes, 10 minutes of just coaster building, and that's it. And then the rest of it is theming and stuff. This, I think, is the first time I am purely just building a coaster in an episode. Not only because I thought you guys might want to see the coaster build process a little bit slowed down, because this is a huge roller coaster. You can literally see me POVing it slightly here. But also, I am away when this video comes out. I'm abroad on holiday, so I don't really have the time to rush an entire Egyptian themed area before I go. I'd rather just focus on the coaster first, and then when I have the time, come back and actually focus on the theming. Not to say that this coaster was rushed. As you can see, the drop took long enough. I'm not rushing this at all. I just didn't want to get to the point where I was theming it and then thought, hang on a minute, I don't have time to finish this. So you'd see the theming half finished and it would look rushed at first, and I just wanted to avoid all of that. So I'm leaving it till I'm back, which should literally be next week when you're seeing this. So you'll see the next episode and there'll be a new coaster in the area, some new rides. But yeah, this Mack Hypercoaster is coming along nicely so far. Don't want to copy Hyperia too much. I'm not going to put an Immelman straight after the drop, because that would be copying it. Instead, I go for a nice floaty little airtime hill straight into a barrel roll down into a dive loop. I've actually done this on a Mack Hyper I made for another series I did ages ago. It wasn't a park series, so if you think you missed that, you didn't. But around 2 years ago, I think, which is crazy to even think about, I did a series over the course of the whole of January where I made a different coaster every day in Planet Coaster. One of them was a Mack Hyper, and it had that sort of element on it, and it worked really well. So I thought, why not put that in this coaster? I mean, I started building that element, and then I remembered that I did that. So I guess I didn't really copy my old thing. I just sort of had the inspiration in my brain of from nothing, and just went ahead with it. But this section is definitely an RMC or, again, a Hyperion inspiration. I'm going to say that a lot this episode. Obviously, Mack Hypercoaster in the UK, the one at Thorpe Park, tallest and fastest in the UK. I'm now building a Mack Hypercoaster that's the tallest and fastest in the UK, technically, because this park is based in the UK. So yeah, I'm just going to compare them both because, well, this one has a lot longer of a layout, so I'm going to stop comparing it soon, do not worry. But as you can see, after that dive loop, you go into an outer bank, which barrel rolls down into like a sort of turn here, like a very banked helix. I guess it's sort of an inclined helix sort of thing, as you can see right here. Thought it'd be really nice to not have too many crazy elements. Like that one there, the outer bank, will be pretty mental and probably one of the best on the ride, along with the drop and maybe that dive loop. But I didn't want to make every single element absolutely absurd, you know? You've got to have these little spots where you still get some really good forces, but it's not, oh my god, that's world class. You can't do world class elements for an entire duration of a layout. It's impossible. Like Voltron has a mid-course brake run and also has a turntable in the center, and those are very slow elements compared to some of the ones that are on it. So you know what I mean, you can't have every single good element on it ever. And this is a Mack Hypercoaster, not an Intamin Hyper, which I could have done. An Intamin Hyper would have been cool. I mean, the sort of lower to the ground elements would have been more versatile, you know? They could have just, like, thrown you about more, been very snappy, whippy transitions like Intamin love to do. Mack don't do them as much, but they're getting there. So, definitely, I think I chose the right thing, because I didn't want this to be too intense, too crazy, like Jinshi sort of is. I wanted this to be more a sort of, not family ride, obviously, but one that you can enjoy as a family, because the height restrictions on these things are lowering every single time they make one, and one day they're going to have like a 1 meter height restriction, which would be crazy. But as you can see, changing out an inversion for an airtime hill there, thought why not? It's not all about inversions, is it? There was like this stall barrel roll thing, but I was like, you literally have just done an outer bank where you stall a little bit and then dive down into a barrel roll. Why have another one like that? So I just decided to go for an airtime hill, and it was quite nice. Into like a bank turn there. And because of the duration of this layout, we're not just going to throw it into a splashdown, 2 more elements, and then it's done. No. We're going to have a mid-course brake run on this because of the length of the ride, which is pretty annoying, because I do sort of wish you could just have it go around the whole layout and not have any dead spot like that. But it's to do with those operations that I said a while back we want to sort of perfect in this park. I don't want to have these coasters that are very low capacity and not very good when it comes to the queues. I think the worst one so far in the park is probably Valkyrie, which really does say something. Like a B&M invert being the worst in the park is mental, but there you go. There's quite a few other coasters that do have an insane throughput in this park, whether it be Planet Coaster Realistic or Real. Some of them have way too fast operations to be real, but we brushed past that. But this coaster can actually run 3 or 4 trains, you know. You may think, how's it running 3 or 4? Shouldn't it just run 2 or 3? There is actually an offload platform I will be adding in a bit. So technically with that, the station itself, the lift hill, and obviously that mid-course, you could fit 4 trains on this on a very, very busy day, which is great. I think there's nothing better than having more trains on a coaster so more people can get on it in a short amount of time. As you can see, we're going up into a 0G stall now. There's a lot of sections on this ride, you may be able to tell, that do sort of shallow out and go... I don't know really how to explain it, but you can see that turn on the left. Oh, I've just disappeared. You can see that turn just after that airtime hill. That one I'm smoothing out right now is a lot higher than the ground. You'd expect something like that to sort of make its way towards the ground like that one I've just smoothed out there, but that one doesn't. And the reason for this, it wasn't intentional, but I feel like it'd be quite cool to have a lot of terrain over on this section and have loads of like pyramids working their way up to where these track sections are, so you sort of dive in and around them. And those higher up ones could either be on a higher bit of terrain or have a bigger pyramid that it rests on, if that makes sense. So I feel like I've actually done myself a favour for once and made it easier for me to theme stuff. So like for instance, at this point here, it could be going right beside a pyramid, or maybe that bank turn that you can see on the right does actually go through one. And yeah, I think I've actually helped myself out there, which is good. because I can just sort of level the terrain off in different places. I could even move the coaster down towards the ground if I wanted to. So yeah, I've actually done something good for once. But this is where I actually began to struggle a little bit with this layout, because I had to try and make it lose a lot of speed, but also keep it, and then make its way to a mid-course where it wouldn't lose too much speed again, and it's not too high up off the ground. Like you can see here, I've tried it there, but it went way too fast through it, so I actually do end up turning it round. And yeah, this was the struggle I had trying to actually work out this layout a little bit, and I came up with a pretty cool solution, and I'll show you it in just a moment because the time lapse is going to show you it. I don't know why I'm acting like I'm going to go in and show you, but as you can see, we turn around here. I can delete that tree because it's not near the border of the park. And then we should somehow... I actually can't remember this because I actually built this quite a few days ago from when I'm filming this. Okay, I just skipped straight back to the station. This bit isn't finished either because that little brake bit there gets replaced with an offload station. Spoiler alert. And yeah, there's so much left to do because I even thought about just looping it around there and finishing the ride, but it was way too fast to even consider doing that. So I just gave up and started going up this way. Yeah, theming wise, that'll be going in next time. What we thinking, of course, the pyramids. If anyone has any other suggestions on the sort of theming you want to see in this Egyptian land, or any names you want to see for this coaster especially, or themes, like obviously you have like Hyperia and Icarus, that sort of vibe. We could even go for something a little bit more grand, more demonic, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. So if you have any ideas for what you want to see, leave them in the comments. But this was my sort of cool way of doing the mid-course. As you can see, right above the zero-G stall. Thought it'd be quite cool to make some sort of wooden structure or something. Maybe that's the thing that helps carry the massive blocks to make the pyramids or something over that. I thought that'd be quite a cool element to have. And obviously you can't have a train going under it and one over it at the same time, because that would be a conflict of block zones. That sounded like the smartest thing I've said and the dumbest. But I guess if this was real life, then someone would probably take photos of them both in the same angle and then Photoshop them together to be that conflict of block zones, because that would be funny. As you can see, we have a lovely outer bank going in. This is the final section of the ride that's going to go a lot more low to the ground, because of course, if a train were to stop on that mid-course, it would have to make it round from there. I had quite a few issues with this when it came to previous coasters in the park, because I just completely forgot that that was a thing. So with Talos, I remember building that final mid-course brake run on it, and it barely makes it over the final inversion. I had to properly try and profile it so it doesn't. That's why it's a little bit odd. But we managed to get there and it works just about. Definitely not realistic at all. But this is fine. This gets round really, really well with and without that mid-course, so it's good to see that. I guess my realism skills have gotten a little bit better as the game goes on. I'm still missing out vital things when it comes to realistic parks, but we're here to build Isle of Discovery. And Isle of Discovery is realistic, but who the hell wants to build back-of-house areas and put more pieces into the game? That's my main thing. I'd rather sort of spend those pieces on coasters and rides than just warehouses in the back. But I've tried my best. And hopefully at some point when you download the park, you enjoy it. Because I forgot to mention, you can now download Ragnarok the Water Park, part of the Isle of Discovery Resort, on the Frontier Workshop. If you want to explore it, you can do. There's literally... well, there's no coasters in that park. I was tempted to make the Viking themed area part of that download so you could still explore a little bit of Isle of Discovery whilst you sort of wait for me to finish it, I guess, but there was no way of doing it without it being ridiculous, so I just decided to leave it, and you'll see the whole of Isle of Discovery open with the water park as well. That's going to be in the file. I'm not going to separate them both. You'll see all of that hopefully soon. I mean, if you literally downloaded that water park, then you might have seen when I predict that I should be finishing this park, if all goes well. But yeah, there's a lot to do still, so I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I know a lot of episodes recently I've been saying, oh, we're nearing the end, guys. Oh, there's going to be a few more episodes and then it's done. I've decided I'm not going to sit on that, because now I'm building a coaster again, and now I'm actually building a new area at the theme park. I don't want to think about the theme park coming to a close, you know. I know we've only got 2 more areas, and obviously those themes, again, if you download the water park, you can see a little hint to what those themes are going to be. You already know that one of them's Wild West, this one's Egypt, so what's the final one? Oh, find out. Find out where. What I meant to say was, you will find out in the next few episodes. That's what I meant, because I just messed up my words there. Because, yeah, we're going to finish this Egyptian-themed area off in the next couple episodes, probably. Then we're going to start the Wild West one, which has a very exciting lineup of rides that I've got in mind. But again, if you have any suggestions for that, leave them in the comments. And then that final area, I almost said what it was, but I'm going to leave it as a surprise because I always seem to tell you what it is before I build them now. Maybe I'll leave it till then. But something, again, mentioned it the other week, dark rides. I know I haven't been building many dark rides. The ones that I do have in this park, one of them is a flat ride that's inside, so is that a dark ride? I don't really know. And the other isn't functional in the game. Not great. So this time, I know I have a coaster, Talos, that does have an indoor section at the start. There's indoor sections on some rides, whatever. This time, there's going to be a fully indoor roller coaster in one of the pyramids in this Egyptian-themed area. And I might as well tell you what it's going to be, because we're going to build it in the next episode. An Intamin multi-dimension coaster, much like the Minecraft coaster or Uncharted at Portaventura. Not like 13, like the one in the Greek area, Artemis. Not like that. Very different. A lot more turntables and drop tracks and stuff like that. Maybe not even a drop track, just to keep that sort of exclusivity to Artemis. But there's going to be loads of stuff happening inside that building. And again, any theme ideas, please let me know. You guys have way better ideas than I do. But yeah, literally, there is so much opportunity with the Egyptian theme as a whole. So to make a Mack Hypercoaster with that theme, very excited for that. But here we go then. The loading station and offload station being changed. Thought I might as well do that again to increase capacity. It's always a good thing in this park, especially. Just linking that back up. And there you go, it can run 4 trains. And then I think literally all I do is test it round and then change the colour scheme. Which the colour scheme, obviously, there's not too many different colour palettes when it comes to Egyptian style theming or styling in general. So I've gone for, if I want to finish the break speeds, I've actually gone for the generic gold track with white supports, and I think it does look really nice. Obviously, there are so many just random supports on this coaster right now, which I will remove a lot of and make custom ones because they don't look too great. And obviously, I changed the train as well, which will put some theming on. But yeah, right now, I really do like this layout. I think it is great. The only bits that annoy me is the fact that some of the turns and everything are really high off the ground, like the bottom of the drops. But once the terrain is in, once those pyramids are in, it should look a lot better. I'm going to go into real time now because I want to show you a few views around the parks, show you that work in progress POV, and show you what's next to come in this Egyptian themed area. And here we are then in Isle of Discovery. As you can see, we've got Talos running to our left. This is the first time we've actually seen the new trains on this, although I've mentioned them. Where are they? Is it? There it is. Whoa, look at it. Wow, so beautiful. But we're not actually here to talk about Talos, are we? So I need to shut up. We are here to talk about that huge Mack Hypercoaster you can see off in the distance. Very low poly. You're going to see a lot of lag in this episode because despite me turning down the graphics a little bit, I'm still lagging this much. Look at the frame rate. That's not good. I don't really know what's happened because building this water park was completely fine. And since I've built that coaster in the back, my PC's just been dying. But that is a look at how much that coaster towers over everything else in the park. And yeah, it's pretty tall. Although one of my favourite parts is the fact that you can't see it from the other themed areas. Like here in Industria, you can't see it. It's over off in that direction. Nowhere to be seen. Even in the likes of Amazonia, you can't see it because it's just covered in trees and it should be off in that direction, but it's not. I mean, I guess the only places you can really see it is on the log flume because if you look behind you, my god. And in the realms of Lantasia, you can, oh, good timing that, you can see it through the trees just down there, and it still looks huge because the coaster is extremely tall compared to anything we have here in the park already. So as you can see, walking all the way through the Chinese area, don't know what happened to my camera then. You'll come down here to this pathway, you'll sort of be able to go off to the right, which will have that Wild West themed area after we finish this one, or you can hitch a left and go straight to the Egyptian themed land, which you'll have some pyramids and stuff blocking your view from here, but you will eventually get to a plaza area where you can see a sort of ride show building in the background, or just, well, you won't be able to see the show building, but you'll be able to tell there's a ride in there. Some other like food places, maybe some like shops, and then you'll have this amazing view up the lift hill of this Mack Hypercoaster and just the huge scale of it behind. I know there's a lot of support work at the minute that really shouldn't be there. Like, there's so many supports on this bit alone, and like all the other bits that will be changed, custom supported in places as well. Maybe that's what's doing my lag. But yeah, this thing is going to look gigantic on the skyline, and it already does, and it's not even finished yet. But I won't take you through the whole layout because we're going to POV it in a second, and as much as it will be laggy, there will be one next episode that won't be. As you can see, that first drop, the 90-degree twist, there it goes, all the way down towards the ground. You'll get some really nice airtime on the back row, and then you've got this nice dive loop, bit of airtime on the way up, some floater. And yeah, this element here is not the smoothest right now. You can see it going through there. Wow. That was bad camera angle. But yeah, I've not fully smoothed the coaster yet, so this will be a little bit unsmooth when you see this POV in just a second. But it's good enough for now. It's a work in progress for a reason. And we're going to hop on board the ride now. Yeah, the POV already is seeming very laggy, which isn't a good sign. Because here we go, down that first drop. The frame rate, man, I'm so annoyed. There you go. That bit has a lot of smoothing to do. Then up into that dive loop. That bit's really smooth, actually. This is the... Well, that actual loop itself wasn't. Then we go into that overbank. Round. Barrel rolling down. That could be a little bit taller, actually, if it wanted to be. Nice little helix. To an airtime hill. That'll have some sustained ejector. That turn needed a bit of work. See, this bit I might change a little bit depending on what I do with the theming. Going around, smooth that out at some point as well. I need to. 0G stall is alright. Yeah, it's very much a little bit janky here and there, but it'll all be fine. Don't worry about it. Nice little airtime hill into the mid-course. And then we go down into what is the final outer bank that then goes round into another bank round into some low S curves. I don't think I spoke about these, but I thought I'd put these in because I really do like those sorts of elements on rides. Into a nice little double down very quickly. That needs work. Into the final airtime hill and into the brake run. Definitely needs a lot of work done to it, but so far as a base template, I think it's pretty decent. What do you think to this Mack Hypercoaster so far? If you think it's rough, then you haven't listened to me, because it's going to be smoothed out. And if you have a name for this or any theme suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below, because I'll be looking at them to make way for all that theming in the next episode. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode of Laggy Discovery. Goodbye.